All right, all right, all right. Great morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from right now, whether you're on the live call or the recorded replay. My name is Lois Koffi, and every single week, same time, same line, myself and my business partner, Deepak Varma, who's from India, we bring this transformational coaching to you. And he's actually, speaking of transformational, he's in like a week-long meditation retreat today. So he is not here today. So I'm flying solo. And so if you were with us last week, I coached on lead generation and the importance of that in your, systematic approach to building your business. And I am a 12-week year certified trainer. This is a 12-week year group. And we don't just focus on the 12-week year every single week. We break it down into your tactics, your strategies, your daily, weekly, and of course then monthly and 12-week year bite-size components. So today, what I want to talk about in the theme of following up with lead generation. And last week we sent you off with some homework to really brainstorm as to what is the best lead generation tactics for you. Is it phone calls? Is it email? Do you have an email marketing system? Do you leverage text? Some people even have texting, social media. There's all these different ways, right? And your marching orders last week were to really just pick one or two that you could knock out of the park for the next 30 days and really, really internalize that newfound habit of lead generation, also known as prospecting. Because again, as we said, if you don't have leads, you don't have prospects, you can't close the sale, right? And so I'm going to share with you the next steps of that. We talked a little bit about the 8x8 campaign in that call. How many touches does it take to close someone? And stats have shown 8 to 12. 8 to 12. So not only do you have that first step of the sales mountain that we teach, you have to have lead generation, appointment setting, follow-up, objection handling, all those things. Usually people never buy on the first sale, or the first conversation. So how do you track? How do you measure? Because we do talk about SMART goals in the 12-week year. S stands for specific. You can go ahead and write this down it's always best, even if you've heard this before, write it down again. Specific. The M stands for measurable. So if you don't know your numbers, you can't grow your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, quite honestly, you can't have a successful business. So again, specific, measurable. A is attainable. Is it really truly attainable? Is it too far out there that you're just like, I can't do it, and you want to quit, right? So it's got to be attainable. It's got to be also, R is realistic. Attainable and realistic are pretty much the same. It's just hitting you with your brain with a couple different ways of looking at it. Is this truly attainable? Is this also realistic to get done? In the T is the timeline that I have set for myself. So for example, if for your lead generation time, and some of you are on my Boomerang sales team, I'll give that example. We do calling parties, and oftentimes we get about 45 or 50, maybe 55 minutes where we're just smiling and dialing. Or maybe we do another challenge of how many touches, texts, or Facebook message or LinkedIn message can you get? Again, you gotta know your best power hour approach to lead generation. But the power hour idea is just to get as many done as you can and then track those numbers and start to see of ways to get better. It's all about getting better, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. And so with that thought, in that vein, I want to show you the tracking tools that I use. These are created by me, and then also there's 2 tracking systems or tools that the 12-week year has that are more specific to the tactics and the goals that you set forth in your 12 weeks. Okay, if you have not read the 12-week year, I highly recommend you get it. Then some of the stuff I teach you on today might not fully make sense, but just go with me on that part. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and share with you my first prospecting sheet that I ever used. And it was from real estate. So bear with me. It's a little, it was a scanned copy, by the way. It's a little crude. You can see that it's scanned, but I had my name, I had my date. This is actually sent to me in 2015. I was asking for one of my real estate friends to resend the old sheets that we used, and I couldn't get a copy that I could edit. So it says 2015. But you'll see here, the goals were set. My annual goal was set. So you could look at it as your 12-week goal or your monthly goal. You know, you can make your own sheet for your business. I'm just sharing an example. This was based on listing conversions, but past clients and your sphere, how many people did you have a conversation with? That can be a goal in your lead generation time. You can also have new contacts. That could be a goal in your lead generation time. How many new contacts do you want to make? I shoot for, like here, it's 5 a day. Now that might be a bit much for some of you. You do you. You can ask me questions. You can reach out to me. If you're watching this and you're part of my 12-week year paid online coaching group. If you're watching this on YouTube later and you're just curious, I'm always happy to give a free 30-minute coaching session to a brand new person. But you have to set a goal of how many new people in your new leads you want to put in your pipeline. Because without new, your pipeline can run empty. If you keep following up on the same people over and over and over again, you'll burn them out, you'll burn yourself out, and you'll create nothing but frustration. Then, of course, you have the lead follow-up. Now, I encourage you, this is how I roll, I would encourage you to schedule specific new lead generation time in your calendar, even if it's just 15 minutes, that's perfect. You got to start somewhere, right? And then lead follow-up time. I have those times scheduled as different in my phone. And then you could still, you have to track it, right? And I'm not going to talk about CRMs today. That's a whole nother training. However, hopefully you're putting these into your CRM or a spreadsheet. There's, Excel, different people. There's other different lead gen follow-up methodologies. Old school would be 3.5 by 5-inch note cards that you just put in your little binder or something along those lines. However you do it, you gotta follow up with those leads, because as we know, it takes 8 to 12 touches to get that person to say yes. Now, everybody's different. Your career is different. In real estate, it was definitely a farming methodology. What do I mean by farming? It was planting the seeds, watering them, putting sunshine on them, tilling the soil, pulling the weeds. You had to follow up many times, several times, sometimes years before they would list their home with you or buy a house with you, because everyone doesn't buy a house every year. No one, in fact, most homeowners, they don't make a change minimum 3 years, 5 years or more. So I had to have a lot of leads in order to close. So maybe you have, I've had a coffee business. I've coached clients who had more tangible goods that they could sell every day out of their store, their restaurant, their storefront. I've had personal training people that I've coached, so there are ways that you can make sales every day. And then there's, professions where that's more readily available. And then there's professions where it's not as readily available. If you're in network marketing, I am a recruiter for a network marketing company. I coach network marketers outside of my network marketing company. Obviously, it takes time to get to that point where you're either selling every day or recruiting every day, or a combination thereof. Maybe one day you sell a product, Next day you recruit someone, and then you're training them and developing them. So a little bit different. Every industry has its ebbs and flows. So the other thing here, if you notice, is the hour of power. So this is intense. This actually is more of if you ever have known anyone, I've coached people in the financial services industries, and a lot of them are challenged to call 100 people a day. Keep in mind they're doing this full time. They get out the yellow pages, they get out Google, they're cold calling a lot, but it's whatever is possible for you. The example here is 100, but that does not mean you have to do 100. You can shoot for 5 touches a day, 10 touches a day, whatever you're going to get into your hour of power. And I always would cross out for people that I left a voicemail, and I would circle the people that I actually had a phone conversation. And in that white space here, I would essentially have notes, things that I would need to transfer into my CRM, quite honestly, or just to-dos, things that came up in my brain that, I was focused for that hour. I only made outbound calls or outbound messages. I wasn't there to check my email. I wasn't there to check Facebook. There's a lot of distractions in this day and age. I'm actually kind of missing my real estate days back in 2000 and 2007. I was pre-Facebook, pre-everything that now grapples for our attention, right? So that's why it's called Hour of Power. You just put the blinders on, put the nose to the grindstone, and you run. And you just get that specific and measurable number, and you get that, you go until you get it. And unfortunately, there's times and things, life happens. So you gotta, every day is a new day. Every day is a clean slate. So you see here, yep, it has X for called, no answer, or answered, highlighting. And you see here, I am an appointment setting machine. I said at least 1 appointment per day. So that's a mindset. I set at least 1 appointment per day. And then on the back side, you can see here the results. Hours of prospecting, attempts, conversations, leads, appointments made. Highly recommend that you have a sheet that has that on there, or a notebook. Again, you do whatever is best for you. If you were a one-on-one client with me and you were paying me my one-on-one monthly rate, we would work together on exactly what is your best prospecting results and business results. Obviously, this is, again, specific to realtors. So that's that example. I'm going to go ahead and share with you another example. And this is actually a copy. Let me see here. I got so many things open right now. Okay. This is for my network marketing team. And Valerie, I know you're on. I believe I've uploaded this in our private team page, so you can just see how we made this for you. Let's see here if I can share the right one. Yes, perfect. So daily prospecting for iBoomerang, all the goals, the weekly goals, yearly goals, past clients, new contacts, lead follow-up. It's the same sheet that I just showed you for real estate that, again, can be made no matter what industry you're in, guys, no matter who is here. If you haven't found this yet, it's in our private iBoomerang page, and it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. So that's how you can take the information, guys, and personalize it for your own. And this is a Word document. So I can email this to you. If you're watching this recorded, I can email this to you so you can, personalize it for your own industry. Now here's the 12-week year versions. I want to show you, not only do you want to track your daily lead generation components, and remember, lead generation is a tactic. How many phone calls are you going to make to convert, to get to that lead, to get to that sale, right? A lot of people that I work with, one of their 12-week year goals is usually income or number of sales, or it can be number of recruits, depending again on your industry. There's a lot of different things. I've worked with sales managers who were also recruiting, and we had a recruiting goal. So you do whatever makes sense for you. And I'm going to share this with you. This is also going to be uploaded in the 12-week year group. So here we are, goal 1, and then you have your tactics. So you'd write down your goal here, and then you'd write down your tactics. Let's say this is lead gen for 1 hour day with 15 calls. And then Monday I did 5, 10 I did, the next day, and so on and so forth. Now these tactics aren't actually working really well with the percentages, so I'm obviously need to tweak this. But at any rate, you're measuring your results, and you do that for both of your goals. If you want to have anything that's related, that's quantifiable, or again, your tactics have to be measurable, and these are things that support your big goal. And again, even if you're not reading the 12-week year and following these principles, that's okay. This still actually works for you in your day-to-day business. Because again, if you're not tracking, guys, and you're not staying focused and committed, why are you in business? Truly, I mean, that's a question to ask yourself: is why are you just here? Is it a hobby? Are you just not truly coachable, teachable, and trainable? Maybe finding a job is better for you, right? I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm a straight shooter. You gotta use these tools in order to set forth the goals and accomplish them. And so these are nice things that you can have. This is an example. This is a body fat example. So that's maybe a little bit easier to share you really quickly, and we're almost done with our time here, but just making sure it's measurable, like eat a salad every day. That's the one. Exercise Tuesday and Thursday. So there's nothing on Monday. There's nothing on Wednesday or Friday, but they've got their exercises. Drink a minimum of 3 liters of water. Again, that's one. And eat paleo with 100-gram carb count daily. And again, they knocked it out of the park except on Friday. So therefore their percentages were 85.71. So that's a way for me. I'm going to also, put my numbers in the spreadsheet specific to, how many sales, how many leads, etc. You can totally do that. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to share the Achieve now, if I can grab that. The system that Brian Moran himself, the New York Times best-selling author, created this system called Achieve. It's an online system. I don't have this included in this online coaching group because of the cost, but if you are interested in having this system, you can reach out to me. It's normally $300 for the year, but if you're already a part of my one-on-one clients get this as part of their one-on-one coaching program. For the online coaching program, I would just charge you probably like $10 a month if you wanted to use this. And as long as you were active in the group, you can have this system for $10 a month. So this is online. You get a username and password, and I set you up with that. You can't do it any other way. And there's a really short video from Brian himself. It has you write down your vision. Again, this is all 12-week year related stuff. You write your short-term vision, your long-term vision, and then here, I'm actually starting a new 12-week year next week. So you're gonna see all zeros for me, okay? But here I wanna shed 20 pounds. At the end of the week, I'm gonna actually click that these got done. Let's say I missed a day. So then that would go down, but that would be 57% completion. And then if I knocked it out of the park, that's my personal goal. And here's my professional goal. My personal goal is shed 20 pounds. My professional is 1 speech or presentation or coaching session every single day, which is going to total 84 over that 12 weeks. and it's going to produce for me 21 coaching clients, either online or one-on-one, and then there's an income result that'll come. So I have to actually still tweak this a little bit, but it gives you that scorecard for your week. And in my opinion, it's better than the spreadsheet. I like it because I prefer online tools. That's just how I roll. It has some reminders from Brian. It's got short-term, long-term, and has my vision written out. I can print my weekly plan right here. So again, we don't have enough time to go through all of this, but then it also has a library of amazing tools that can help us be better. It gives all the execution. It gives, if I wanted to, I can add a new team in here for people that want to do the weekly accountability meetings. Again, 100% specific to the 12-week year concepts. So I know not everyone in here is doing the 12-week year, so that's why I don't have anybody in this group inside of that. So if you have any questions or you want access to the Achieve, please reach out to me privately. And then the final thing I'm going to share is how I personally, besides the prospecting sheet, besides relying on my phone for my daily info and my schedule, this is what I call my daily compass. And again, I'm going to make sure all of these tools are shared inside of the 12-week year group, okay? So the daily compass is what I do every day to keep the focus on. And I am old school, so I prefer paper. So I print out 7 of these every week. A lot of times I'll just do 30 for the month, so it's done. And then either before I go to bed, so it slips into my subconscious overnight, or first thing upon waking, before the workout, before food, before whatever, before coffee, sometimes not, but first coffee, right? I'll take 20 minutes, and sometimes it's actually not 20. It's 14 is actually the scientific minimum to spend focusing on your plan. You can write your goals. I coach a lot of people to write your goals every day, once a day, twice a day for bonus. But if you can write your goals every day or say them out loud, whatever is easiest with your time schedule, it connects you. If you have a vision board, look at that. Whatever it takes, right? Take some time. Don't just be on this rat race autopilot life that a lot of people, at least in America, I know we have a global community here. In America, it's very easy to just go on that hamster wheel, right? And I've had it happen quite often where I get sidetracked, but I always come back to my track that I run on, and I use the daily compass to help ground me and help me focus. So something about putting that paper to pen and writing down my big rocks. Like every day, there's thousands of distractions, right? You can have a sick kid. You can have, I ended up getting a parking ticket yesterday at my kid's school, and I was like, what? You know, so I allowed that to get to me for a little bit. My, kids have challenges at school, or you have a death in the family, or you have an argument with your spouse. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. But if you can use this document, again, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, remember those big rocks that have to get done today. And you notice I put 1 and 2, both personal and professional, just 2 things. And sometimes your day, maybe you're working half a day, maybe you just really need to get done with one thing. There's a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I forget the co-author, but it's really about focus and execution. And sometimes if we have too much on our plate, you can't see the forest for the trees and you can't get it all done. So what is your 1 or 2 big rocks that you got to get done today? It's not even 8:30 here Pacific time. So the hope is, that I fill this out first thing in the morning, and then I hit the ground running. And no matter what life throws at me, I can always look down at the sheet of paper and say, Did I get my big rocks done today? So I actually put this on, I'll show you here, autobiographically, guys, leading by example. I have a clipboard. If you can see, that is the daily compass. And I use the clipboard also with my prospecting sheets. I keep them all together. It's actually a little full. I gotta clean it up if you can see that. Got too much paper on there, but usually I'll keep the whole month. So like the whole month of January is on here. That's why it's fuller. And then at the end of the month, which is tomorrow, or probably realistically the 1st of February, actually is better, I will review my last 30 days. My essentially the four weeks of the 12-week year, and I'll reflect free from judgment as best as I can. And it's not a beat up session. It's not, man, I didn't hit those goals, or man, I allowed myself to get distracted, I'm an idiot. None of that. None of that. So I hope these things have been helpful. I could probably do a whole 30 minutes just on this one document. I taught a college course for 8 years, guys, and I had every student, they were MBA students, and they used these tools, and they said it was the best class they ever took in their life. And these were, some of them were 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and that was a huge compliment. So grateful I can share these tools with you. I would love to see, Valerie, if you're able, do you have a single question that I can answer before we wrap it up? And I know you probably can't. If you want to message it here on the Zoom chat. And if not, that's okay. I really appreciate you. I want to acknowledge you for showing up today. I know I'll be covering this on my own solo again next week, and then Deepak will be back. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to share, what are the things that you are wanting to learn. I always listen to you guys and what you're wanting to grow upon and take. Last week was lead generation. That was a request of someone. And now we have these tools that you can apply for prospecting and lead generation and time. Next week I may drill it down actually into the ideal work week. That's part of the 12-week year as well. Again, if you haven't picked up a copy of the 12-week year, I really encourage you to do it. I read it 3.5 years ago, and it cleared up a lot of clutter in my mind, helped me refocus, and I got more done in 6 consecutive months than I had the previous 6 consecutive years. And so now I have the certification, training and speaking upon it around the world. And I'm never too busy for your referrals too. Bring a friend next week. Everyone gets to be a part of this group for 2 weeks for free. And then they get to choose to be a part of the monthly ongoing, or there is an amazing deal for a lifetime of this program for literally pennies on the dollar. So thanks, guys. Have an amazing week. You have greatness inside of you. And make sure that you come back next week, same time, same line.